It started on an ordinary Tuesday night. I just returned from my late shift at the diner, bone-tired and smelling faintly of grease and coffee. The air was cooler than usual for a midsummer evening, and a slight breeze rustled the leaves outside my small suburban home in Salem, Oregon. I dropped my keys into the bowl by the door, kicked off my shoes, and shuffled into the kitchen, yawning as I poured myself a glass of water. I live alone. No pets, no roommates, no random guests. Just me, my thoughts, and the occasional sitcom rerun playing in the background while I fall asleep. So when I heard the creak of the floorboards upstairs, I immediately froze. I chalked it up to the house settling. That's what people say when they don't want to believe something might be wrong. Still, the sound had come from the exact direction of my bedroom. I stood there for a long moment, holding my breath and straining my ears, listening for any other movement. Nothing. Just silence. Shaking my head, I finished my water and decided I was just too tired to care. I climbed the stairs slowly, each step groaning beneath my weight like it hadn't been used in years. I laughed a little at my own nerves. What was I expecting? A ghost? When I got to my bedroom, the door was closed. I always leave it open. Always. My heart started pounding, and I could feel the skin on my arms prickling with tension. Maybe I'd been more tired than I thought and shut it earlier, without remembering. I opened the door slowly. Everything looked normal. My bed was made, the covers still neat. My lamp stood by the bedside, casting a soft glow across the room. Nothing was out of place. No open windows, no signs of forced entry, no indication that anyone had been here. I walked in, inspected the closet, even checked under the bed. Empty. I sighed, feeling ridiculous. After changing into pajamas, I crawled under the covers, turned off the lamp, and let the darkness swallow the room. The hum of the air conditioner soothed me, and soon enough, I drifted off into a heavy sleep. Then, in the middle of the night, I woke up. But not the usual kind of waking, where you're groggy and confused. This was sharp. Alert. My eyes flew open, and I felt paralyzed, not by fear, but by the awareness that something was very, very wrong. The blankets had been pulled up tightly around me, tucked in snugly. Too snugly. I never sleep like that. I like to keep one leg out or have the covers loose. But now, they were wrapped around me as if someone had intentionally tucked me in. And that's when I heard it, a soft, feminine voice. There you go, sweetheart. All tucked in. My blood ran cold. I shot upright in bed, the covers falling off me like a broken cocoon. I scrambled for the lamp and switched it on, nearly knocking it over in the process. The room was empty. There was no one there. Just the fading echo of those words in my ears. I leapt out of bed, checked the entire house again, turning on every light, opening every closet, every door, even checking outside. Nothing. No signs of intrusion. No footprints. No movement. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I called my sister, Emily. She lived a few hours away in Portland and was the closest thing I had to family. I told her what happened, trying to make it sound like a weird dream, but I could hear the concern in her voice. You sure you're okay, Jason? She asked. You haven't been seeing anyone? Maybe someone has a key. No one's been here, I said. You know I don't let people into this place. It's just me. She offered to come visit, but I told her I was fine. I wasn't. I just didn't want her to think I was losing my mind. Over the next few nights, things got worse. Subtle at first. I'd wake up with my blankets neatly tucked again, sometimes smelling faintly of lavender. I don't use lavender anything. Once, I found a glass of water placed on my nightstand that I swear I hadn't poured. Another time, a lullaby played faintly from somewhere in the house. I didn't even own a music box or anything that could produce that sound. I started setting up traps. I placed a small pile of flour in front of my bedroom door at night, hoping to catch footprints. I set up my phone to record during the night. I even installed a motion sensor light in the hallway. The flour was always untouched in the morning. The video? Black. Somehow, the phone always stopped recording an hour or so, and despite being fully charged, the motion sensor light never triggered. I thought about going to the police, but what would I say? Hi, someone's been tucking me in at night. They'd laugh me out of the station. I became obsessed. I barely slept, barely ate. I watched every horror forum and video I could find, looking for similar stories. There were a few that came close. Tales of so-called caretaker spirits or residual energy, or entities that mimic comfort only to slowly drain you. I reached out to one of the forum users who claimed to be a paranormal investigator. Her name was Claire, based in Spokane. After I told her everything, she asked for a video call. She was in her 30s, sharp eyes, calm demeanor. Jason, she said, I know this might be hard to hear, but what you're describing sounds like an entity known as a mother mimic. It doesn't mean it's your mother, or even a ghost pretending to be one. It's more like a force that fills a caretaker role. But it's not benign. It wants dependence. It wants you weak. I didn't like where this was going. She continued, Have you felt unusually tired during the day? Forgetful? Lost time? Yes, I admitted. A lot. Then it's already feeding. It comforts to create trust, and once you trust it, it starts taking more from you, energy, time, sometimes your will. That night, I didn't sleep in my room. I crashed on the couch with all the lights on and every TV blaring. I stayed up until dawn, shaking, waiting. Nothing happened. But the next night, when I finally passed out in my bed again, exhausted and mentally frayed, I woke up tucked in tighter than ever. The scent of lavender was strong. And this time, the voice whispered right into my ear, You shouldn't fight this. I'm only trying to help. I bolted upright, screaming, flailing, heart pounding in my chest like a drum. My lamp exploded into light. No one was there. But the air was warm, like someone had just been inches from my face. That was it. I left. I packed a bag, got in my car, and drove all night to Emily's place. I didn't even tell her I was coming. When I arrived at her doorstep just after sunrise, she looked shocked by my appearance, unkempt, sleep-deprived, hollow-eyed. I told her everything. For hours, I talked while she made coffee and kept glancing at me like she was trying to gauge whether I needed a hospital or an exorcist. She didn't laugh. That was something. She let me stay. The next week was calm, peaceful. I felt like myself again. No whispers, no lavender, no phantom tucking. Emily even said I looked better, like a weight had been lifted. I started to think it was over. But one night, she had to leave for a work conference. I offered a house at her place, and she agreed. That night, I fell asleep in the guest room, feeling truly rested for the first time in weeks. Until I woke up, blankets tucked tight, lavender in the air, and that same voice. There you are, sweetheart. I missed you. But now, the voice sounded closer, fuller, more real. I sat up, heart slamming in my chest, and there she was, standing at the foot of the bed. A woman in a pale nightgown, her hair gray and wild, her face blurry, like I was trying to see her through water. But I could see her smile. It was too wide, too kind, too wrong. Who are you? I whispered. She tilted her head. I've always been here. You need me. No, I don't, I choked. Leave me alone. She frowned. You're tired. Let me help. I grabbed the nearest object, a lamp, and hurled it at her. It passed through like she was smoke. And then she was gone. I never went back to my house. Sold it 2 months later. Moved across the country to Tennessee, where I got a new job and a fresh start. I see a therapist now. I tell her it was all in my head, that it was sleep paralysis or stress. But deep down, I know better. Because some nights, when I let my guard down, when I sleep too soundly, I wake up tucked in tight.